Well, Fred, thank you so much for joining me on my newly launched YouTube series, Action Reloaded Presents. To start off with, I would just like to ask, how did you get into the world of martial arts?
Well, I was a pro football player first. I played 10 years of pro football. During the off season, I studied martial arts a little bit just to stay in shape because I didn't like working out in locker rooms, man. I didn't like being that confined. So I like being outside doing martial arts. I got more into it when I did a movie called That Man Bolt, and we shot it in Hong Kong. I was there at the same time that Bruce Lee was doing Enter the Dragon. So I stayed in Hong Kong for 6 months and studied with the Bruce Lee school. So then I came away really informed, truly informed about martial arts, not just a physical thing, but also a spiritual thing. And that's really where martial arts is for me. It's more spiritual than physical.
That's really cool. What was it like getting to meet and train alongside Bruce and get sort of his insights?
You faded away there for a minute. Do that question again.
Oh, sorry. What was it like to train alongside Bruce and sort of get his insight of the martial arts?
Well, it's always nice to work along somebody that you respect, whether it's martial arts or whatever trade that you're in. If you really respect the person that you're working with, then you become like a sponge. You absorb everything that they're telling you. You make sure that you got it right. You make sure that it fits in your lifestyle. So that was really the thing. I respect his achievements. I respect his mental attitude toward martial arts, not just being a physical person, but understanding the spiritual side of it. So I became very interested in martial arts because of that.
Was that where you first sort of met Jim Kelly as well?
Jim Kelly came along when we decided to do a film because Jim did a couple of films, and so he was a marketable commodity, along with Jim Brown, who were marketable Black actors at that time. So I figured the three of us together would make a very unique trio on the screen, and it worked out good. Jim did his thing, Three the Hard Way, and Jim did his one-liner grunt beat up people thing, and I did my romantic kind of thing. So it was a great union between three different personalities. And then we did a second film called a Western, Take a Hard Ride, where Jim Kelly was a Indian, half-breed Indian, so that his martial arts could fit with his kicks and jumps and leaps and all of that stuff. It fit as an Indian. So we found a way to make it all work.
So going from like football as you were, what sort of swayed you into the direction of movies?
I really had no direction for movies at all. That was not my goal. I graduated from college with an engineering degree. I was an architectural engineer. So during the off season when I wasn't playing football, I was an architect for Bechtel Steel, which is a big steel company here. So I was an architectural engineer for them during the off season. So when I stopped playing football and went full time as an architect, I just couldn't make the transition of sitting behind a desk 8 hours a day, thinking that this was going to be my life career, 9 to 5, an hour for lunch. It just did not fit my personality. So after about 9 months, I became very discontented. And one night I was watching television and I saw a TV show starring Diane Carroll. The show was called Julia. She was the first Black actress to have her own television series. And I noticed that the guest star role each week was a Black boyfriend. So immediately I said, I'm better looking than any of those guys. I'm going to Hollywood and become Diane Carroll's boyfriend. So I went to Hollywood, BS my way into meeting the producer. And after about 5 minutes of conversation, I convinced him to give me a shot at being a regular on the show as her boyfriend. And he did. It happened. I became Diane Carroll's regular boyfriend on the show for 3 years.
You hammered your way in rightly, didn't you?
Most definitely. Definitely was all bull. Hey, listen, I'm talking to a bullshit career. So I come in with a bullshit attitude. I know. He says, you ever acted before? I said, yeah, man, I did acting. I did 5 years of Carmen Jones and 6 years of Raisin in the Sun in Canada. And I took him to Canada because I know he didn't know a damn thing about Canada. If I'd have said New York, he would have said, what repertoire company did you work for? And do you know so-and-so and so? So I got through with that little BS. And he said, okay, we'll give you a shot. We'll try you out. Luck would have it, we shot it at 20th Century Fox Studio. So one day in the commissary, while we were shooting, having lunch, guy walks by and he says, you're the Hammer, right? I said, yeah. He says, I got a film that I'm doing. Got a football scene in it. I don't know anything about football. Would you direct all the football sequences, bring in some pros, maybe, and teach them how to hit? I said, yeah. The name of the movie was MASH. I played Spear Chucker in the movie MASH. So that was really my first movie with Robert Altman, was the guy who asked me to do this for him. So that's how I really got into film. Then I said, hey, this is easy. I should have been doing this a long time ago. Plus, I was making more money. I was making more money than I ever made in football. Back in the day, we made no money. We're no millionaires in pro football back in the day. So I said, okay, hey, maybe I'll try this career.
So was your influence then of directing them football scenes, was that what sort of pushed you on to get into the acting as well, because you were doing it before, but into directing as well, because you have directed 20 movies or something?
20, 25 films, yeah. I've directed quite a few films. But the reason I want to do that was because you got to remember, this is like late 60s, early 70s. There were no Black heroes. There were no Black actors that really satisfied what I wanted to see on the screen. So I said, if I'm going to be in this business, I better learn the business of the business. So that's what I started doing. When I was shooting Julia, when I was shooting MASH, I never left the set. I bugged the cameraman. I bugged everybody. What do you call that thing? What are you putting that light over there for? What do you call that light? So I was gaining knowledge, learning how to take my career into my own hands, because anytime they wanted me in a movie back in the 70s, they wanted to kill me. You know, why you want to kill me? That Schwarzenegger avenged my death. Kill Schwarzenegger. Let me avenge Schwarzenegger's death. You know, let me do my thing, right? So it wasn't happening. So I figured, okay, fine. I'll do my own thing. I'll produce my own. I'll direct my own. I know damn well I'm not going to die in the film, and I'm going to be the hero at the end of the movie. So that's really why I started doing it.
In One Down, Two to Go, which you starred in and directed, what was it like directing the like fight scenes, especially as you had Jim Carrey there? Did he give you any tips, or were you like full creative control?
No, I'm total control. I mean, it's my deal. I'm in control. But I gave him freedom to do what he thought was his key move, or his move that people would expect to see him do, because everybody has something that, especially for them, that's unique to them. So I let him be free and do whatever he wants. Jump up on top of the car and then jump off the car and kick two cops in the middle of the street. He wanted to do that. I said, hey, if it looks good, we'll do it. So go do it, you know? So it's given an act. What makes a great director is a director that listens to his cast and listen to his people, because they know what they do best. And so all you want to do is try to encompass what they do best into your concept of the story and how to present the story. That's what a great director does. He listens to other actors.
And going through your filmography, it goes from like old school 70s right up to current. What would be your favorite five, say, films you directed?
Well, that's an easy question to answer, because I only do what I like. So everything I have done, I like. I have not done anything I don't like. I've not done anything for the money. I do what I like because it interests me and because I want to do it. I turn down films all the time. I turn down jobs frequently here because the character that they want me to portray is only to draw in the Black public and not really have me do anything, just walk on the screen, hit somebody, knock somebody out in my style, and bring the Black public into the film. But that doesn't satisfy me. I mean, no matter how much money you give me, pretty soon when the money's all gone, I got to be walking down the street in the ghetto and some guy come up to me and says, hey man, why you let that little guy beat you up? How am I gonna explain that? You know, I can't explain that. If they don't let me be what I want to be and do what I want to do, I'm not for sale. You can't buy me.
That's a really good attitude to have. You know, at least you're not going to sell yourself down the river. You can only do stuff that's close to you.
Exactly.
Was there any of the movies that you have done throughout your whole career that you wish maybe you done like a sequel to, because you're like, that character's kind of cool, I'd like to have seen more of him, but it just never came around?
My wish is that I really had more money to make the kind of films that I want to make. All my films were on low budget and asking for favors, even though they didn't look like low budgets, because I start a film in LA, wind up in Paris, shoot in Rome, and I'm doing it all under $500,000. So I'm making these kind of movies and trying my best not to make it look like a low budget film by making this travelogue and doing all these things. If I had more money, I could do more things, but it's a challenge when you have no money to make it look like a big film. Then that's invigorating by itself to face this challenge and overcome this challenge of no money and still be creative. That's a good thing.
From the look of your films as well, what I've noticed is you do all your own fight scenes, don't you?
We don't have anybody in Hollywood my size, man. All the guys are 5'8", 5'9". They all pretend to be 6'2" and 6'3", but nobody's 6'3", 6'2" that's black. Ain't that many white guys at 6'2" and 6'3", you know? They're all Stallone size, man. They're 5'11", 5'10". There's no doubles for me, so that's part of the fun of doing my thing is doing my own stunts and doing my own action. That's part of the fun of movie making for me.
What would be the most challenging action sequence or stunts that you've had to do?
The film Inglourious Bastards, which we shot in Rome, Italy, with Enzo Castellari. They had me jump off a bridge onto a moving train. I didn't question it. I said, okay, what do I do? He says, well, you go on this bridge, you hang over the edge and the train come, and with cameras, I said, okay, I'll do it, but you got to put the camera on the car, on the cart that I'm jumping on. And so if I miss it and get killed, it's on film. And I'm only going to do it once. So I said, okay, no problem, Hammer, you go do it. So they set up the camera on top of one of the carts. Came under the overpass, the train comes, zoom, I jumped, land right in the middle. Camera got it all. I rolled over like I was gonna fall off, but I had control. I didn't. I rolled over, slide under the cart and slide inside and jumped inside and Bo Svensson was waiting inside for me. And I had a cigar. I had a cigar when I did all that.
You've always got a cigar. It's like your trademark, isn't it?
Well, you know, it's better than sucking my thumb, man. It's something to do, you know. I can't. So, yeah, it's a lot of people don't even. It's like when I played football. My nickname was the Hammer. Okay, a lot of people didn't know that the Hammer and Fred Williamson was the same person. They'd be on the football. They'd be watching the game, and they said, "Who's that guy down there with the white shoes on?" That's the Hammer. Oh yeah, who is that? That's Fred Williamson. Oh really? They don't know. I got fans now, man. If they don't see me with my cigar, they don't even know it's me. You know? So okay.
It's weird if you don't see you in a fight scene and you haven't got a cigar, or you pull a cigar out after. It's your trademark.
Exactly.
Call you the cigar.
It works as long as it works, and you know, I know how to manipulate it into the scene, and I know when to use it and when not to use it.
In '96, you done two cool movies, man. You done Original Gangsters, which was like a fun actioner. Was that sort of like, for that time period, was that like your throwback to the sort of old school movies you had done?
Kind of that, and kind of the fact that I like to spread the wealth. I like to spread the love, man. And Jim wasn't working, Pam hadn't done a movie, Roundtree wasn't, so I want to put the old school gang back together again. And I knew that would excite the public to see us all together and see what we were going to do and how we were going to do it together. If there were going to be any scene stealing or anybody that was going to do something more important than the other. But we worked it out really well. Original Gangsters turned out to be a very good film, a very marketable film. It was successful financially. So it was my idea, just put friends together. And you always have a lot of fun and a lot of ad-libbing when you have friends together. So it worked out pretty good.
Is it true you're thinking about doing a sequel to that? Or you were?
I have a sequel, but I'm having a hell of a time raising the money. The sequel is called Old School Gangsters, bringing back the same cast and not pretending to be 30 years old, but being old school gangsters and still getting the job done. But hey, man, Hollywood's mine is up into the millions and trillions of dollars. And my that budget was like 2 million. So they don't see how you can make a film for less than, low budget to Hollywood is 10 million. That's low budget in Hollywood. But I proved it. I said, listen, we made a film. The budget was $1.5 million. It made $40 million. I mean, what more can you ask for? You know, well, you know, that's just enough to pay Universal's and Warner Brothers light bill. You make that kind of money. They want to spend 90 million and make 200 million. but I got more chances of succeeding in my film than they have in making 90 million gross in their film.
Yeah.
But they don't see it. Hollywood don't see that. And it's not a business-minded, orientated organization. They just like to spend money because they're not spending their own money. They're spending stock market money. They're not spending their money. I mean, nobody's writing a check at Universal. Universal goes to the stock market and says, pull 18 million out, and we're going to make this movie. And that's how they work.
I never knew that. I thought that was.
You can buy stock. You can buy Universal stock. You can buy MGM stock. When they're using that money, that's where it's coming from.
Oh, fun fact for myself then. I never knew that.
They talk to the investors, and the investors all agree. Yeah, take $1 million here. You take 5 million. This investor takes 6 million. That investor takes 8 million out of my account, and boom, they got 90 million, 100 million to make a movie.
And then just to slot back on another film that you probably get like everyone mention this character here, the character of Frost and From Dusk Till Dawn.
I did Frost because of Quentin. Quentin always seemed to be a fan of mine. He copied a lot of my movies. He did Original Gangsters, and we got mad at him, and he came back and spelled it with Inglourious Bastards he did. Then he came back and spelled it with an E, right? Because we got a little discontented with him, and so he came back and spelled it with an E, Bastard. He did The Django. The Django was a film that, like I did, about a black cowboy who runs away from his slave master and goes to the West and becomes a gunfighter. That was the legend of Nigga Charlie. So he thought he just might have some more fun with me and put me in his movie. And, I did my thing in the movie. I made suggestions to the director, who was a brilliant director. Again, he was a director that listened. I said, I'm a martial arts guy. Why don't we have a scene where one of these big ugly things is walking by, and I say to him, whatever you got to say to him, say to me first. And he comes toward me, and I do a move and take his heart out, but his heart is still beating in my hand, and I'm backing up. And Harvey Keitel took a pencil and stabbed the heart in my hand, and that's how we killed the thing. So those kind of things work for me. It works for the movie, work for everybody,
Did you get to like make suggestions on, when Frost is giving the speech about the war?
Right.
Was that written in the script? Or?
No, that was ad-lib, man. That was giving my man a chance over in the corner to make his transition from a real person to one of those things. So they needed a time span to watch him, teeth come out, nails come on his finger while I'm making my speech. And so I gave him that time and that transition so he could do that, and it worked out good.
It was a fun film. Like, your character really sort of come to life, and you kind of wanted to see more of your character, and then you became the big sort of like mecha monster at the end.
Well, that was the only way they could kill me, because I don't die in movies. They told me, you can't kill me in a movie. I don't die in a movie. You're going to kill me, I'm going to die as that thing. I'm not going to die as the Hammer. I'm not going to die as Fred Williamson. I turn into a monster, then you can kill the monster. The monster's okay. And that's how I explain it to my fans. It wasn't Fred Williamson that died, dude. You understand that? It was that big, ugly monster that went down. So that's how I worked that out.
You also had the opportunity to work with a great female martial artist, Cynthia Rothrock. What was it like working alongside her in Night Vision?
Yeah, it's always wonderful to work alongside any pretty lady, So that was the beginning of something. But she turned out to be a very good actress. Not only a martial arts person, but she's also a good actress. She's a very sensitive person. I think the kind of martial arts that she studies is kind of like what I experienced with Bruce Lee, understanding the spirit of martial arts. And that's just not just be a cold-hearted martial arts guy making the dancing moves and all that kind of stuff. She has spirit, and she's pretty.
Another film with a martial artist, but a male martial artist this time, was Dolph Lundgren in Blackjack. Even though the role was limited.
It was limited because we didn't want to fight each other. He didn't. If we fight, I'm not losing the fight, and he's not losing the fight. So the fight was eliminated.
Is that what the reason was? Yeah.
Yeah. That was the producers and directors. The story goes like this. He's got to do this, and you got to. I said, no, not happening. So we'll do it the other way. He said, no, not happening. So we said, okay, we'll just do some acting role and talk and move on.
Because the hammer can't get hammered.
uh-uh. I'm not losing the fight, dude. I can't explain that to my fans. Why am I losing the fight? That's what they come for, you know. I give them something that they hadn't had before, something they hadn't seen. When I was growing up, there were no action heroes that were Black. They were all Sidney Poitier was our hero then, but he was a good actor, but he never fought anybody. I never see him slap anybody or hit anybody. So I'm waiting for that, you know. So I'm gonna come to Hollywood. I got to find my niche, and my niche is not going to be a bag down kind of guy. I'm going to be, my heroes were Clint Eastwood and Charles Bronson. These are the kind of guys, these are the guys that I emulated. You don't need special effects for these guys to be heroes. It's their character, their personality, and what they did that made them macho guys or heroes, not because they can jump off a roof and fly, you know. Yeah. I don't want to do that kind of character. So stay with Eastwood, stay with Bronson, and I'm there.
Speaking of Bronson, I seen a poster for a movie you done called The Messenger. It reminded me so much of like a Charles Bronson movie.
Well, all my characters are like a Bronson character, and you know, and Eastwood, because like I say, my effects is gunfights. I may blow up a few cars that I bought from the junkyard, and you only see the good side of the car. The other side is all smashed up, but I'm blowing the cars up. So I got my little special effects in there, you know. So it can be done if it fits in the story. You don't stick action and explosions and car chases just to have them in a movie. It's got to be a reason, you know. And so I'm very cognizant of that fact that whatever I put into a movie that's action, that it fits the story and it's part of the story, and that action is necessary, not just to be exploitative in the film.
So you've done like loads of cop sort of pictures, but then the ones that I really enjoy are like the old military ones. So you've done like Inglourious Bastards, and then you've done like Delta Force Commando. What sort of attracts you to like the military sort of films?
I'm a Marine, so my background and my personality and character was molded long before I got into the movie business. I'm a Marine to the heart, dude. You know, simplify all the way inside of me. I'm a simplified kind of guy. So I wanted to do films that were believable and that the action was believable, not action for the sake of action, but because it fit into the story and was necessary.
Yeah.
You know? And sometimes the bluff of the personality and the bluff of the character is good enough not to have a fight. And then sometimes you make a move and show them that you don't want to take this any further than this, because if you do, there's going to be more pain that you're going to have to suffer. So take my advice and move on. I try to present that kind of thing before just coming in and kicking down a door. Because if you just come in and kick down a door, then you're a punk. Because anybody can do that. Kicking down a door is nothing, you know, boom, bam. You open the door, right? And if there's something in front of you that you want to get by, then you kick down the door. You don't come in kicking down the door. I mean, any hero can do that. You open the door first and be ready for it. And then if it's there, then you attack or run away, which is Hammer's not going to do. But you go forward, man. You don't kick down the door.
Like going forward, even now, would you consider doing another sort of military movie? I know you've done like one of the ex-military ones, but would you do one of current?
You have to feel the pulse of the public. Whatever the public wants and adheres to, that's what you kind of give them. And it's kind of difficult now because they spend so much money making films. And if you just see the coming attractions on television to influence you to go see the movie, you realize that's the whole damn movie. There's nothing beyond what they show you on TV. You know, when you see 5 seconds or 2 minutes of a fight scene, that's the whole goddamn movie. The rest of the movie is all talking, walking, doing nothing. You wait, you sit, you go to the movie, and you wait for that part that you saw on TV, right?
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
You know, that's the way it works. That's the way Hollywood thinks. That's how far their mentality goes, man.
As movie series you've done, which is very popular, is Black Cobra. Was that sort of your sort of shaft, was it? Or
No, Black Cobra was presented to me by the Italians. The Italians were in love with Stallone's Cobra when he did his movie Cobra. It was a very big success over there. So they knew that I had a market in Europe and Italy and Spain and Germany and Sweden. So they presented Black Cobra, and it worked out well. People enjoyed it. It was accepted. It was me doing my character. So wound up making two of them. There was a third one that was sold at the film market in Cannes, but the producer tried to be tricky and took excerpts from 1 and 2, combined them, and titled it Cobra 3 without telling me. I didn't even know about it. I just happened to be in Cannes when I'm looking at the advertising. One day I see it advertised, and one day it's gone. I go, wait a minute, I don't remember Cobra 3. I didn't make Black Cobra 3, so I sought them down, and after a little conversation and a little rough dialogue, they decided to pay me some money. But I said, it's just, what do you think you can get away with this? I mean, people ain't stupid. I'm not stupid. You can do, because all the buyers came to me and said, listen, we bought Cobra 3, but we didn't really like it. Was that you in it? I said, what Cobra 3? I know there's no Cobra 3. Yeah, we bought Cobra 3, but it wasn't that good. I said, I guess not. I wasn't in it. They had some black guy that they shot from behind a lot, walking, sitting, and then see some reverse shots of me from outtakes on Cobra 1 and 2. So it was kind of embarrassing for a while there. I had to put the hammer down, David.
wasn't there a fourth Cobra in the
Same
world?
Same thing.
Oh, same thing.
The excerpts. And they told me first and then paid me, but they didn't. I wasn't there then. I was in LA, and they says, we just released a Cobra 4. Here's a check. I says, are you people, that's the Italian way, I guess, man. That's a foreign way to figure. You're so far away that you'll never know. But most of the movies that I saw in Europe, I am the salesperson. I don't have an agent selling them. I go to the markets. I went to Cannes, MeFed, all those marketplaces, and I sold my own product. That's how I know what's going on with my films, because I sell them all personally.
That's a good way to be. At least you know what's coming out.
Well, he who counts the money first makes the most money.
Exactly.
Very simple.
Would you ever come back for the character of Cobra, maybe just to finish it off the way you would want to and get rid of the...
I would like to, but some guy just last year made a film called Black Cobra. Used the name. So I think it's kind of overused now. If I did Black Cobra, they'd want to know which Black Cobra is this. I'd have to be colored Cobra, Negro Cobra, Cobra the Negro, Cobra the black guy. So they couldn't do it, man, because it's being overused. Somebody liked the title and jumped on it. And the guy who did it is a friend. He knows a little martial arts, and he got long hair all the way down to his shoulder. It was a poor copy of my Black Cobras, but he used the name, and that kind of overdoes it.
You can maybe go the Rambo sort of way and call it just like Malone or something, or...
Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking about characters. It's easy to come up with characters. I could do Dakota Smith. I did Dakota, so I might come back with Dakota Smith. Jesse Crowder, I did 3 with Jesse Crowder. So any one of these names I can bring back. I can't bring back Black Cobra because it's overused.
You're also in the movie in 95-ish, maybe, Children of the Corn. What attracted you to join the horror franchise?
David Carradine. David Carradine was in it, and he and I had a great scene together where I think I blew off his head, or he blew my head off. I don't know, one of the two, but David Carradine was in it. So I said, okay, well, we should have some fun. So we had a scene together, and it was a lot of fun. I like to work with guys that I know. I had worked with David before in one of my movies, So I like to work with guys that I know and have fun, you know, because money is okay, but fun is can be more important sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes you do need to let the hair down, don't you?
Exactly. Exactly. Exactly.
Someone else you've collaborated with twice, as far as I know. If it's more than twice, I've totally researched wrong. But Don Wilson,
Which one?
Don the Dragon Wilson.
Oh, Don the Dragon. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Don, another guy that's friend, martial arts guy, but also a good actor. And then the film that he wanted me in also included Andrew Dice Clay. And I said, oh, wow, this is going to be fun. You know, Andrew, I know he didn't read the script. He didn't care about the script. Andrew's going to say what he want to say, and I'm just going to listen to him and say my dialogue based on what Andrew says, you know. So again, it was a fun project to do, and that's why I got involved in it. It ain't always about work, you know. I'm okay. I'm okay financially. For me, it's about having fun in what I do.
See, even to this sort of like this day, do you still train and keep your martial arts going and still keep in decent physical shape then, yeah?
Well, a guy that's 82 that looks like this, gotta be doing something right, dude.
Yeah, exactly. You're 82?
Yep,
But
82.
you don't look 82.
I'll never look 82, man. I'll totally dissipate before I become looking like I'm 82. I will just disappear, walk down the street and become a puff of smoke. They say, what happened to the hammer? I don't know. He was just walking down the street, man. The guy just disappeared, you know.
So you still study your martial arts as
I do martial art moves. I don't study it anymore because that's not really what I do in my films. You know, I may end the fight. I like knocking down doors, going through walls and all that kind of stuff. And then my last devastating blow might be a quick martial arts move, but I don't see me standing off and styling with a guy and doing all that anymore. I think that's passe. I think that's gone. I'd like to do the John Wayne fights, the Eastwood fights through the wall, through the door, out the window, and then get him up and stand him, and then go phew, nice quick one, and boom, it's over. You know.
hit with a couple of the old slabs.
Yeah, that's it. Dude. A few hammers get dropped in there on occasion.
Yeah, there's no other way to get a nail in than hammer it, right?
Hey, if you're hit by the hammer, it's a pleasure.
Have you ever accidentally caught someone in a fight scene?
No, that's a rookie. That's a rookie move. It's staged. It's set up. I do it. I've had to stop. I don't do stunts with non-stuntmen. That's how you want to get hurt. You want to get hurt, do a fight with an actor. You're gonna get hit no matter what you tell him. You're gonna say, okay, I'm gonna throw a right cross. I'm gonna throw a right. You duck and come back with a left. Okay, and then I'm gonna duck. Right? You ready? Action. You throw a right. He didn't duck. He's throwing his left before he ducks. You go, whoa, hold, cut, hold it. You don't get it, man. They get excited. An actor gets excited because he wants to be a hero, wants to be the stuntman. I don't do big fights with actors. I do major fights with stuntmen who are doubling the actors. I don't do, you want to get hurt, you want to get hit, do a long fight with an actor. For sure, you're going to get hit.
Unintentionally get your ass beat.
Then I say, I make a rule. Here's go. We're going to have this fight. And if you hit me, just keep going because I'm hitting you back. Then we're fighting. If you win the fight, I'll change the end of the movie. Real simple. You got no reason to hit me. We've gone over this for 20 minutes, a half hour, step one, step two, cut. Then we move to second part, step three, step four. You got no reason to hit me. It's all about the camera. It's all about how you throw the punch, where the camera is. Not about how close you come to me. It's about where the camera is when you throw the punch. Because you can be a foot away from a guy's face that throws this way, but if the camera is behind you, you see that it's a punch. It looks like a punch.
Yeah.
You got no reason to come to me and pretend it's up to me to take the hit. You throw the punch, it's up to me to take the hit. If the camera's behind me, it's going to be a hit. Don't hit me, period. We know forgiveness. If you hit me, I'm firing back. And then we fight. If you win, I'll change the end of the movie. Real simple.
That's a good deal, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
More recently, well, you've had two movies I've seen of yours recently. The first one I'd seen was Atomic Eden. It
Yeah,
was a lot of fun.
that was a lot of fun. Again, I'm working with friends. The producer and director I'd met many times at the American Film Market here, and he came up with this idea, and I said, okay, I want to go and enhance my German popularity and enhance my German fans to make this movie, and he let me do my thing, and I had a couple of punches. I threw a couple of punches in there, but I was a little angry at him that he didn't give me a full fight. You know, I threw some punches and slammed the guy against the wall and things like that, but he gave the fight scene to the martial arts guy, the German martial arts guy, I forget his name.
Mike Moeller.
Give it to Mike. Yeah, give it to Mike. So I said, okay. And then Mike was a little angry at me because I said, I threw an ad lib line in there when he said, I'll be long in a few minutes. I got to take care of this guy. And as we walking away, I said, still wants to be the hero, huh? And he took it personal, but it was me ad-libbing for the movie, right? He took it personal that I said he wants to be the hero, right? So it took him a while to get over that, but hey, that's his problem, not mine.
Was it? It seemed like it was set up to sort of be like a franchise as such, like Lorenzo Lamas's character and
Well,
sort
he's
of
talking
that.
about putting it together, and he's talking about coming back with it again. You know, again, it's about raising the money. You know, you have a lot of ideas, and you can't make them all happen, but that's where he is now, trying to raise the money to bring a sequel to it, bringing Lorenzo in, because he had Lorenzo at the end of the movie saying this dialogue of being upset that I had this weapon and he wanted it. So I think the sequel is going to be him trying to get this weapon away from me before I can deliver it to where I'm supposed to take it to.
So we know you're just gonna beat his ass and smoke a cigar.
It's going to be a good fight because we've had this fight before. I did a film a long time ago. He had a television series, and I did a martial arts fights with him in his TV series. He had a TV series. Yeah, and I did a nice long fight with him in there, you know, and it'd be nice. It'd be nice.
I take it it's the same sort of situation, just working with friends again on VFW that you done.
Every one of those guys were all buddies, man, and we ad lib everything in there. Damn near every line was ad libbed. And again, they wanted to kill me, and I'm saying in the script, I die, and I said, I'm not gonna die. Just forget it. It's not gonna happen. I says, he said, what are you gonna do? I said, I don't know yet. I said, but when we shoot the scene, as we shoot in the movie and everything, I'll find a way. So everybody's had a fight, and everybody's been fighting. What's your name? Slade helps me to the bar. He sits me on a stool, and they start talking about me like I'm not there. And I said, who the said I was dead? But I was in a frozen position, like I was tired or had been beat or was tired from beating up somebody. And I was in a frozen position with my cigar in my mouth, hanging a little bit. And then I said, who, blah, blah, said I was dead. That let the people know I wasn't dead, right? So everybody got a kick out of that. Everybody loved it at the end. They said, okay, now we can bring you back in something. You know, everybody else got killed, but you didn't die. That was my last thing I said. My cigar hanging out of my mouth, my hand shaking with a drink, and said, who the said I was dead? So it worked out.
It looked like such a fun movie to work on.
Ad-libbing, mixing up fights, trying to make the fights look real. It was all. The only thing I didn't like about the movie was he shot too dark. I think the film won't play well on television because it wasn't real. He did Tarantino's lighting, which is dark and colors and stuff like that, and it looked good. But I don't think it played well on television because it's too dark.
Would they ever do another one of them movies, or was that just standalone? Because it done really well from what I remember.
Did very well. But hey, raising money for a film that's considered low budget, it's hard. It's hard to get Hollywood to dish up the dough. And these guys, all independent guys, independent financing, that's how they put it together. So it all depends on financing, you know?
Is there any actors throughout your career that you would like to work with, like at the minute, that you haven't worked with yet?
5 years ago, maybe, but all the guys that I love are all old now, you know? And they're old. And Clint is good, but you know, he doesn't fight anymore, doesn't shoot anymore. He did a film where he was a dope runner in his car, running from bringing some dope from borders. You know, those guys, they're gone, man. You know, guys that I grew up watching, Lee Marvin, Robert Mitchum, Cagney, these kind of guys. These are really heroes, man. Without special effects heroes,
Yeah.
they were heroes based on their character and their personality. Anybody left for me to work with, they don't have that anymore. You know, I'm the last of the group, man. I'm 82. I'm the last of the group, right? I'm still walking straight up. I can still jump over things and fall out of the car and get up and still run. You know, so now it's they're fading away and they're dying away.
So as it's just you, do you think like your swan song of a film would be introducing the next generation of like tough guys?
I think that's a little hard to do because when you talk to the young people, they think they invented everything. It's theirs, right? It's theirs, right? They've seen you do something. Oh, I can do better than that. Yeah, you can do better, but you're copying it. You know,
Yeah.
you ain't starting from scratch, dude. You're watching something that I did and going to do it better. You ain't starting nothing from scratch, okay? So that's how they think. So just give them their due and let the youngsters do whatever they want. I mean, we did Black Caesar. Then Denzel Washington comes along and does American Gangster. Same goddamn thing as Black Caesar, but it's Denzel Washington trying to be the character that I showed in Black Caesar. So everything to them is new. They invented it, they created it. They're not copying me. I said, well, okay, fine. You know, but they can't make a movie that's not copying me because I've done so many of that character. Every damn movie they make is going to be, especially if it's one guy trying to carry the load, it's going to be a copy of something I've done before.
They should just call the character Fred.
They're going to call it Hammer 2, Hammer 3.
If you had to recommend, if there is any like new viewers watching, if you had to recommend 5 of your movies for them to go check out, what would you recommend?
I don't know. I would start with Joshua, a Western movie that I made called Joshua. Then there would be The Messenger. And then all the movies that I have made in Europe are very entertaining because they're like a travelogue. I go someplace and somebody, especially when a guy from the ghetto is watching me in Spain and go, wow, man, the Hammer's in Spain. Look at there. I want to go to Spain. That's where I want to go. I'm in Rome, walking down the street, riding in one of the carriages with a beautiful lady, get out and walk up the Spanish stairs. And they go, wow, man, that's Spanish stairs. The Hammer's in Rome. I want to go there. So that, I like making those kind of movies and having that kind of response because, hey, it might encourage them to do something better than what they're doing with their lives and seeing what I'm doing. So
so the last movie I seen you in was VFW.
yeah.
Is there any other movies you have coming out?
No, it's when I'm waiting for the fires to go away. I'm going to Spain to make a movie with Enzo Castellari, a Western, an Italian Western in Spain. As soon as they get the virus, because they started preparing and then the virus came along. So everybody stopped and scattered and went home. I came back here. So we're waiting for that virus to go away so we can go back and do this big action movie, big Italian action movie.
Are you the lead star?
Me and Lino Ventura.
So it's gonna be a big action movie then, yeah.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Riding and shooting, riding and shooting.
Oh, I meant to ask you. You had worked with the original Shaft, Richard Roundtree.
Yeah. Yeah.
Also, like working with Roundtree, was he as badass as he was in Shaft?
No, he's not. He's not a badass guy. No, he's not a hammer. No. He was in Original Gangsters. Put him in Original Gangsters. He was in. I did about 3 movies with him. I brought him into most of the films that I've done. And no, he's not a badass. No, he's a smooth guy. Carries a gun and shoots. You know, you ain't gonna see him doing no fights. He was in One Down, 2 to Go. Put him in that one with Jim Kelly and Jim Brown. No, he no. The
Well,
macho guys in that era was me and Jim Brown. Kelly was a martial artist, which didn't make him macho. The macho guys were me and Jim, where somebody says something to you and you look at him and you say, you don't want to do that. You really don't want to do that. And that ends the conflict, right? Kelly, somebody did something to Kelly, and Kelly's going to back up and go, whoa, whoa, whoa. Then you're going to back up, right? That's not macho. That's a guy that's threatening you, you know.
Yeah. So just as you were part of the whole 70s sort of black exploitation and going from as you, just your opinion on the franchise, the Shaft franchise, would you say Richard shouldn't have appeared in the last two, Shaft and what was the last
Most
one?
definitely. Most definitely. He should never appeared in the first one. He never should appear in any of them other than him. He gave his image away. He played Uncle Shaft. There's no way I'm going to play Uncle Caesar, Black Caesar. I'm going to play Uncle Caesar. I'm going to come in and be Uncle Caesar. No. This one, they prepared him. They set him up because they were not going to use Samuel Jackson anymore, probably. And they brought this young kid in, the nephew. Like if they make another Shaft, it'll be starring the nephew. And Kelly, Roundtree would walk in for a day's work. You'll see Samuel talking on the phone somewhere. Where are you? That's all. And the movie would be carried on by the nephew if they make another Shaft. But no way. Why would you give your image up? Why would you do all the things that you went through to become Shaft and then give it up to somebody and call yourself Uncle Shaft? No, forget about it.
Yeah, I personally would have liked to see like an agent Shaft, maybe, you know,
Yeah,
just
yeah.
final swan song sort of thing.
Let's do a story. It could still be Shaft, you know, got his own private detective agency. That's what he was. So just give that back to him and let him do whatever he want to do as a private detective, you know?
Yeah, exactly. I also seen as well, just as we are in the season, you have a Christmas movie out, don't you?
I don't know. I think we did. I think, yeah, but I made it 5 Christmases ago. Maybe they just now releasing it, but the director was a friend. The director and the producer was a friend. He says, come and do this part. I said, okay, you know, just as a favor to you, I'll come do it. But we did that 3 years ago, man. And maybe they're just now releasing it.
Well, you had it there 3 years ago, and it's only hit the shelves now.
It's Hollywood way, man. It's Hollywood. You never really know what they're doing. If they got the money to waste, they do that, right? Me, I got to put it out right away to get back the money that I put into it, right? I can't wait 3 years to get the money back. So, no, I must have made that thing 3 years ago.
So, apart from the Western, is there anything else you can tell us about that may be coming to fruition?
Yeah.
Or
As soon as I finish that one, I'm going to Rome to do one of my movies called The Last Hitman.
that sounds the title already has me. Are you the last hitman?
Yeah. No. I'm a guy. I'm a cop, and I'm transporting a guy, and he gets away from me. And while he gets away from me, he kills a couple of policemen and getting away. So they think I'm getting slow and old, and they want to fire me from the department. But he came from Italy. He's a hitman from Italy. And so, no, I got to go chase him. I got to go find him. I got to go chase him in Torrance or Florence or Madrid or somewhere. I got to go find him and find him down. He is the last hitman because I'm taking him out. He's the last guy that's going to be a hitman.
It sounds like you're actually hitting back up your roots over in Europe again.
I'm always in Europe. I know I go where I'm loved, not where I'm pretending to be loved. And I'm big in Europe, and they like me there, and I like it there. So, because I lived in Rome after I made Glorious Bastards, I stayed in Rome for about 4 years. You know, came back and forth, made a movie, went back to Rome. So Rome is very pleasant.
Well, Fred, that's everything up for you. That's all I have.
That's enough. You did good. You did good. You did a good job.
Thanks, man. It was a pleasure having you on.
Thank you, my man.
And thank you for making so much time, especially coming up to Christmas, man. I appreciate it.
Well, you're doing a favorite thing. You know, I'm talking about me. It's my favorite subject.
Well, we done each other a favor then, didn't we?
It's all good, man. It's all good, right? Nice Christmas tree you got behind you too.
Oh yeah, the wife
You're
decorated.
all ready. You're all ready, huh?
Yeah, and
Watch out for those honeydews, man. Those
oh,
honeydews keep you busy.
there's plenty more of them coming. Trust me.
Trust me, I got one too, man.
It keeps just ticking over, doesn't it?
Yeah. But it's good. It's a good thing, you know.
Yeah, it definitely is. It was great talking to you, Fred.
Thank you, my friend. See you.
See you. Bye.
Ciao.